Hello, good evening all. We are live again from Ikeja in Lagos, and we're in the final phase of the pre-course. Hassan Yahaya from Kano. Yes, I can see you loud and clear. How are people in Kano? What's the weather like in Kano? Is it freezing? I wouldn't know. No, I've never been to Kano State. But maybe I will visit Kano. I will have to. Because in this scholarship program, people from Kano State is like ×3 of any other states. So we have most of your peers are from Kano State. Probably I'll visit Kano during the meetups. I will meet with you guys there. Okay. I can see Victor Bensi from Akwa Ibom. Sani Muhammad Panda from Damatru Yobe State. Namani Lota from Enugu. Mishak Dauda Jos. Zainab Abdullahi. Zainab is from FCT. Yes, I met Zainab during the meetup we had in FCT. Hello. Carlo Shibeze from, sorry, did I miss that? Yeah, Carlo Shibeze from River State. Oberefo Matthew, Lagos. Ola Shaji, Lagos. Sani Audu from Maiduguri. Abubakar Salihu from Katsina State. Hassan said, Kano is cold. I can imagine. Yes. Well, sometimes it's better than being too hot, right? Yeah. Okay, Olubade Idowu Ayuba from Lagos. I have Fomi Haxo from Bauchi State. And Umar Goni, Maiduguri, Borno State. Wisdom from Imo State. Lawal Mukhtar, Kano State. There's someone from Muhammad Yasir from Gusau, Zamfara State. And Nasiru Kani, I can see you from Kano State. Yes, loud and clear. Egwemi Julius, Kano State. Fabi Ademola, Osun State. Esther, Unique. Esther is coming in from Benin City. Nice. Nasser Dalatu from Zamfara State. Abubakar Salisu Jega from KB State. Balarabe. Oh, did I miss Balarabe's? Ibrahim Ubaji from Bauchi State. Ameshi Eze. Ameshi is from Cross River State. Nafiu Aliu from Gombe State and Fabi Ademola, Osun State. Okay, so today we will be very, very brief. In fact, I plan to make it a working session, but because we didn't pre-inform you guys, I'm gonna take a few slides. So today we'll be taking more of your questions, and the reason is this. Today is like we're almost in the last day for people that haven't signed up. So I kind of figured out we'll pay more attention to try to solve problems. If you're having sign-in problem, you can't sign in to Fifth Walk, you never signed in before and you're having issue. Let me paste a link here. It's a form. It's, no, not that. 1 minute, please. I'll paste a link in the YouTube channel and on YouTube and the Zoom webinar. So you can fill that form and let us know, just so we can focus on those people. We'll move everything to the back end guys on Fifth Walk and have them sign you in anyhow. We want you, if you have not signed up before, you are having issues signing up and you're already set up because we've sent an email to you. Once we have communicated you, means you are in our back end and you are having issue, please, there's a form I'm pasting. I've put that now in the YouTube channel. Let me do that also on the, let me go to chat, on the Zoom webinar. And this I'm sending to everyone. Yes. And this is the link to the form. So we don't get overwhelmed, please. If you have signed up already, that's fine. You don't bother. Maybe you have one or two problems. Don't bother filling the form, please, so that we'll concentrate on the people that have problems. Because we are about to unlock the assessment. And once we unlock the assessment, there's no more sign up. Remember, we had to extend this. We have to hold on the assessment to allow some of your peers to come. And there has been a great turnout. As of yesterday, we had 29,700 something active participants, right? So what it means is, remember, we're supposed to take 30,000. On our own, we are ready to be flexible about the number. If we get 40, if we get 35,000, 37,000, we want to absorb all of them. But since we are just in that 29,700 range, it means anyone that has signed up, all right, will most likely move on to the second phase. But we want to do the final push. So I wanted today to be a working session. It was an afterthought. But because we're already set up for Bitcoin theory, I'll take a few slides, then I'll come back. So be ready with your questions, especially with regards to signing up. That's the main thing right now. We just have these few windows, less than 24 hours. People can no more new sign up. So we want to be able to resolve as much issue we can with people trying to sign up. So let's go on and quickly take a look at some slides before we come back to the Q&A. In the Q&A, to help us, I think I'll be taking more from the Zoom webinar because it's more structured. I'll also take a look into the, please, if you have Zoom, if you have access to Zoom, you could join the Zoom link and you have questions. I mean, I will still take questions from the YouTube links, but you know, sometimes by the time I come, your question might be way above. Zoom is more structured. This I can go through the question one at a time. I know you have the Zoom link. I'm not sure. If you don't, let me just grab the Zoom link and put in the copy invite link. There it is. I'll put this. Yes, that's the Zoom link. If you have question, you have issue with signing up, I suggest you come in through the webinar just so we won't miss you. Thank you very much. Now, as usual, let me go on and share my screen. I'm in my entire screen. I'll stop this one first. Stop share. And I'll share my entire desktop. Okay. Hopefully you all can see me now. Pull up my slides. Okay. Do that I have to do it. Okay, Introduction to Bitcoin Theory, Part 3. Today we are going to look at transaction, just a few slides on transaction. You know, we can cover these things more later on. So what are transactions? We define an electronic coin. I'm reading from the introduction part in the Bitcoin white paper, which is the basis of this course. Everything about this course is just the Bitcoin white paper. So we define an electronic coin as a chain of digital signatures. Each owner transfers the coin to the next by digitally signing a hash of the previous transaction and the public key of the next owner and adding these to the end of the coin. A payee can verify the signatures to verify the coin of ownership. So in other words, transaction is just a data structure that encodes the transfer of value from one participant to another. That's what it just is. So it's the unit, the transaction, when we say a transaction has happened, it's just simple digital signatures. Someone asked me a question earlier on, I think in the last class, from the webinar. He said, is Bitcoin blockchain a cashless system? You can answer that question. Now, is it cashless? We said it's every transaction there are just signatures, transfer of ownership from one person to another, just signing some piece of signature. Yes, 100% cashless. That's why it's called. It's a digital cash, right? So let's go to the Bitcoin Explorer and grab some transaction and see what we're talking about. Here, I have 1 minute, please. Yeah. Or I could just, let me start from scratch. So you just come and type Blockchain Explorer. Oops, mistake, but you bring out what I need anyway. I made a mistake in that, because you know, Google will try to give me as close match as possible. Yes, give me what I needed. And here we go to Blockchain Explorer, click that. So here we have, there are some interesting feeds for us here. We have one latest transaction. So we're talking about transaction. Look at it. And in this, we have latest blocks. Remember, it's these transactions that will be assembled, all right, and put inside this block eventually. So let's look at transaction. I'll pull up the transaction feed. I'll click on that transactions here. It's quite tiny, but I'll blow it up in a bit. Let's just zoom in on transactions. I'll click that, it's coming up. So in effect, in the low level, in the low level, right? Transactions are just, let me say, you know, we have this concept of coin, address, owner. In the real sense, these are high level construct. Just like when we did programming, we talked about machine language, we talk about high level language, right? When we are talking about C, which is and Golang, right? We talked about the high assembly language, you know, that closer. So in the low level of it, it's this blockchain don't know about the coin, the address, the owner. These are constructs that we are formed to be able to make us relate with what we already know. All it sees are just some signatures, you know, some transactions going. When I say transaction, actually, some bytes. Yeah, see some bytes, encoded bytes, you know, some cryptography, you know, with the keys, moving them around, actually. But the idea of the coin, the address, the owner, there are constructs made on top of it so that we can relate with it the way we already know. So here we have what they call unconfirmed transactions in this part. You can see they are coming in, they are just coming in. All this, they are unconfirmed. We mean you do a transaction, immediately you do it, it's time-stamped. You can see there's a time associated with. Can I zoom on this 1 minute? Let me see if I can zoom in on that part only. No, did it zoom? Not sure. I'm not sure. Anyway, let me try once more. Come on, plus 175, but it's not zooming. I'm 300%, but I can't see any difference. Okay. So these are transactions coming in real time, right? And where are they? They're in the mempool. Mempool, the mempool, that's where every transaction goes. Any transaction that happens, each one coming here is a transaction. And we can see the value attached to them as they're coming in. So each of these transactions, as they happen, they go to the mempool. So they are not confirmed yet, but they are there. They've showed up already. If you have an API, if you're doing some, oops, okay, this zooming thing finally came up. So let me see if I can move this around. My machine right now, probably because I'm streaming, it's so slow. They're not even moving. Oh, I can't see the part I wanted to. No, I can't see the part I wanted to see. So I'll zoom out again. Let me zoom out just so we can. 150% now. Let's zoom out that. So we can see the transactions coming in. Okay. Once they come up, we go ahead and grab one of the transactions. Then we'll analyze it, see what's going on in it. Oh, it actually moved, but now, so everything is just so slow, probably because I don't know. So I'll zoom out again. Out. Zoom out. Almost back to 100%, I guess. 110, better. Wasn't a good idea. Still in the first place. Oh, sorry about that. Maybe I should just close this and open another page. Yeah, yes, might be faster. Or I go back to the home page, Explorer. See. Okay, let me go to my slides and look at, I put up one transaction when I was preparing this. So let's use that transaction. So let's look at here. So this is exactly what we're supposed to see if I had grabbed one. So what I did here was to go in and grab one of the transactions, right? So what do we have? We have from and to. Now in the from, here is the address. The first thing here you see is an address, right? And the value of this is 5.5484 BTC. If you convert that to USD, it's about 93,000 USD. That's for this transaction. Now see what happened. One single transaction got split into two. Now see, the first one, which is 0, index 0, the first one is index 0, is what 3.564 BTC, which is about 59,000 USD. Now the second one is 1.98299 BTC, which is about 3,000 USD. Now, if you add 59,800 something to 33,000 blah, 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 you get approximately 93,000 this. So one single transaction, or we call it, we'll see that in a bit, unspent transaction output, UTXO. Now this is unspent. You've not spent it before, that's why you can spend it now, all right? And it's worth 5.54 BTC. Now let's look at an interesting thing. Look at the addresses. The first address, okay, the sender is start with BC1Q, it's a common prefix, but look at the last digits. I say XSXW. Now look at this first one, AN3V, it's a different address. So it's sending this to a different address, but see the second one, it's sending it to SXW. Now SXW is the same address as the sender. So what happened? Why did this split into two? Now this is what happens with Bitcoin in particular. In Bitcoin, it doesn't have the idea of, let's say, what's balance. Like in accounting, you might have, let's say, 200,000 naira in your account. It doesn't matter how, all you know, you have 200. From that 200,000, you can spend 50,000. You can spend. So once you remove 50,000, this is your balance. But in Bitcoin, Bitcoin blockchain, for every unspent output you have, you cannot split it into, when I say split, we say, but we just split that. But let me explain again. So what happened here is that if you're going to use this particular UTXO, you must spend everything. You can't spend half of it. Yes. You can't spend a quarter of it and leave the rest. No. So each UTXO is unique. So let's say you mine a block. Let's go back to block 0. When Satoshi mined the first block, he got 50 BTC. He created it. That's a coin base, right? 50. So for him to make and transfer any part of that money to anybody, that first one that was created, because each UTXO will have its own reference, that UTXO will have to be consumed completely. Once you spend it, we know it's spent. But what it does is, it will create new outputs. So those new outputs is what will be transferred. Now, the main one that created those new outputs has become spent. And it's marked spent on the blockchain. No one can spend it again. So when we say transaction is valid, one of the things they check, on these UTXOs you want to spend, is there anyone that has been spent before? If there's anyone that has been spent before, that transaction is invalid. So now we want to send this guy, this is a real life, I just picked it up from the browser. This is a real life transaction that happened. 5.5484 is split into two. One went to a new address. So we assume he wants to pay this to that guy. Then the second one went to his own address. So what he does is, it will, because you have 5.54, which is more than what you want to pay. It will spend that whole 5.5, call it spend, now create two new outputs. Out of that two new outputs, it will give what you need to send to the other guy. Then the other one will return to you as a change. So in that case, this particular UTXO that has 5.5 something in it doesn't exist anymore. It has been spent. In this place, you have two new transactions that equals that. One goes to the recipient, one returns to him. So that's what happens in a regular blockchain. So we can, but this is a high level, it's easy for us to understand. We can actually look at it, the actual data structure. Remember, I said transactions are data structure that encode the transfer of value between participants. Let's look at the next slide. I have a structure there. The problem now is, let me try the website again, if everything has resolved. Let's see. Okay, better now. Yes, I think we have a better view now. So I can see, look here, you see the latest, oh, we're in the latest block, but I don't have my, so I'll zoom up one more. Let me zoom out. Oh, let's go to a block and grab what we want. Now see blocks that we have formed. These are different blocks that we have formed, right? Let me pull up the latest block for, no, let's pull up anyone. This one by Brace. So I'll go to that block. From that block, we pick a transaction from there. It will work for us. So I'm opening a block. Remember, a block is just list of transactions, right? That have been hashed together. All right. Hashed already, you know, have all the transaction, everything has been hashed, and they have the hash of the previous block to it. So that the next block will also have the hash of that one. So you keep building up like that. I click this. For some reason, I don't know why it's so slow. I can't switch to the fiber optics now. I'll get disconnected. I'll switch to the fiber optics. So, this is quite slow. What am I doing? I'm in the wrong place. So, I think I click some other stuff. Option Explorer, just go back there. Okay. So we pulled up one block. I say, let's pull up this block just so we can pick up a transaction in it, or I can zoom out again, zoom out. See what happens. This really, so I get back to the slide. So if you can see this one wanted to take a look. We've seen the high level part, which will just tell us from this person to that person. But see what we have inside here now. This is a transaction. It has a transaction ID. So for that particular transaction that happened, this is the ID in it, right? And here is the input. Here is where we're interested in the input. And now, the first point is, say, is it Coinbase? Remember what we say, key value pairs. When we are doing Golang, we talked about the key value pairs, right? When we talk about the hash table, this is not the hash table, this is just a JSON object, but it does the key value data structure. So we have the Coinbase, which is the key, and the value is false. So this particular transaction is not a Coinbase. Remember what a Coinbase is. A Coinbase is what you're paid, what the miner is paid for mining a block, and it's always the first transaction. So the transaction 0, right, is the Coinbase. It's always the first transaction. In this case, it's not a Coinbase, so it's a regular transaction. It has an ID, right? So here we have the output is 0. What this 0 means is it's only one. Remember, it's 0 indexed. So output 0 means the first transaction. In this case, we only have one transaction in the input. We'll see cases where we have more than one transaction. We'll explain why we have more than one transaction. So in this case, the output is 0. This 0 just means index 0, the first transaction in here. So it's only one, so that's it. And the scripts. This script is something that has to solve a problem. Remember what we say, when you build your transaction, there's always a script attached to it. You know, you have to solve the puzzle and that. So you sign everything with your key, you know, the guy you're sending it to, everything is in there already, and we sign with your key, right? And the guy that's supposed to receive it can now, his own key should be able to open it. And this is the value of the transaction, 50. We could see that one was split into 2 the other time. And this is the address that it was sent to. The witness, we explain the witness later in the course. It will be confusing now for you. So just know it's sent to this address. We have what we call the witness key there. So in the output, see what happens in the output. We have 2 addresses. So in the first address, this is the guy who was sending it to. How do I know? Because it's not the same address as the sender, right? It's different from the sender's address. So it tells you, yes. Look at the sender's address here. It stopped at SXW, this one. So he's actually sending to this guy, and he's sending to him, or whoever the person is. 1, 2, this is in Satoshi. So if you 10 million Satoshi is equal to 1 Bitcoin. So if you move your indices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 35.6 Bitcoin. No, 3.5, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's supposed to be, yeah. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 5 point something Bitcoin. That's what it was said. That's right. So if you move the index, this is in Satoshi. It gives an integer. It's sorted as an integer, but it has enough zeros in it to represent what you remember. One Satoshi, 1 Bitcoin is about 10 million Satoshi. So you have enough integers to go through. There's no decimal here, just integers. So look at the second address. The second address is SXW, which is the same address as the sender. So that's how we know this is the change coming back to him. Okay. Now see what happens here. In this one that is going out, look at spent. True. So for him, it's gone off. It doesn't belong to him anymore. But look at this one, spent false. So he can still spend this one. Right? So he first have 5 point something. It's split into 2 because just like if you have a 10 Naira note, 100 Naira note, you want to give somebody 50, you can't tear the note into 2 and give the person, right? So you give him everything, he gives you the change, something like that. So that's what happens here. He has enough, more than what he needed to pay someone. So he had to split into exact. And if you look at the math very well, if you do the math, you see there's a slight difference between these two amounts. If you sum up everything, it's slightly lower than the actual amount he started with. That slight difference is the minus fee. That's the fee he paid. I think we'll see it here. Let me see. Spend tax ID input. So that's for one. And this is the second address here, right? And it wasn't spent. So this one comes back to him. So that's a typical transaction that happens in the blockchain. All we see here are just some scripts, of course, they're digitally signed. If you look here, you see our PKS script. That script here is a script. It has, this is just a hash representing what's in that script. That's what executes. Everything is encoded inside it. In fact, sometimes when you see a UTXO, you just see it. Okay, spent or not spent. But to see the actual value, you have to now pull it up and look at all the data attached to it to be able to know. So that's what oops, I shouldn't have zoomed off. I'll just come back here, but let me go back to present so it's easier for me to return here. Present. Now I go back to, I want to go back to Chrome. See, yes, we can see clearer now. So I called up this block 770514. That's the block I called up. 770,000. Remember when Satoshi did his first own, that was block 0. So right now we have block 770,514. Every 10 minutes a new block is formed. Every 10 minutes a new block is formed. And you could see some of the details in this block. The hash is there. The distance. So this happened 59 minutes ago. This is just the time from when this block was created. So 59 minutes ago, that's when this block happened, right? And the total value, all the transactions in this block, they are worth 86,000 USD or 159. No, 5 BTC. Yeah, 5,019 dot blah, 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 blah. That's what it's worth. Right? But this is the value in what we can actually do. And that's the value as of today. What are the other things? Transactions. Okay, let's look at this. See, input value is 5159, blah, blah, blah. Output value, 516, right? So there's a difference between the, okay, no, this one is just because the input value is this. The output value is higher than the input value. The reason is the Coinbase, what the miner created an extra digital cash. When you mine it, you bring in a new cash. That's why the output value here is higher a bit. And if you do the math, you know it's equal to 6 points. Let me see, it should be stated somewhere here what the person was paid. Yes, if you look here, he minted on this second column, he said minted 6.25 BTC. So if you add 6.25 to the input value, it should be able to give you what you have in the output value. And you have 2,848 transactions. So in this single block, where Satoshi was on, his block have only one transaction, just one transaction. So there was time transaction can be 10, can be 20, but right now, like this block has 2,848 transactions. Remember where they get them from? That mempool we saw transaction running in, boom, 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 boom. That's where it got all those transactions from. First of all, if we put its own mine fee, the fee it gets as a miner, that would be the Coinbase 0. Then it has other transaction on it. So that's it, input, output, and we see the fee. What else? Okay, this is important. Look at the nouns. We did this the other day. The version of the software is using, okay? But here, look at the difficulty level for this. So remember I showed you the block header. What happens in the block header, right? So this is the difficulty. For this, is even though it's number, it just represents exactly, you know, the difficulty associated with hashing, getting a hash that has so number of zeros, right? From the beginning. That's the difficulty level. This is the nouns. Nouns, the number used once. This is the number it keep iterating until it was able to solve the problem. This number here, that's why it iterated until it was able to solve this particular problem. So when the block wants to do retargeting, it has to look at these values here. What's the difficulty level? So let's say at some point, people start mining blocks in more than 10 minutes, right? Let's say now start taking 15 minutes to mine a block. It will reduce the difficulty. And yeah, so it will come down to 10. You know, it's a mathematical stuff. It works that out. But here's what we are interested in. Let's grab one of the transactions here. So, okay, interesting. Let's grab the first transaction. Quite interesting, yeah. I grab transaction ID 0. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's grab ID 0. Look, it has a special symbol for it, but let's grab it and see. So I just click that now. Let's see what happened to that transaction ID 0. Now see, there's no input. Look at the input part. Wait a minute, let me pull this thing out. See the input part. Remember when the one I showed you on we have some value. This input here is 0. There's no input. Who can tell me why there's no input in this? We are looking at the index 0 in this block. So in every block, there's an index. The first transaction is all okay. You can know, look at the value, 6.3, blah, 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 blah. It's about 6.25 is what you gain now, okay? The extracting of 0.25 is what the person gets as fee, right? No, this is the Coinbase, 6.3, blah, 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 blah. So what happens here that this is the mine block, you know, the mining reward. That's why there's no input into it. That's it's only the Coinbase that doesn't have an input into it. All you have is just the output, and the output here is the reward that we got from doing this mining. You can see that. Plus whatever, you know, is the fee you collected on that. Interesting. So let's go back and look at the main thing we wanted to, and that's another transaction, not the Coinbase now. Let me grab another index. It's coming back. Okay, let's grab, let's say number 5, transaction number 5. Let's grab that and see. So in this case now, you can see there's a value. In the from field, we have a value because this is not the Coinbase, right? And that, it went into that. So let's look at the JSON file for that. Although we pretty much have the summary by this side, the advanced detail, we pretty have the summary on that. But let's see the JSON. So in this case, this is interesting. We have only one input and one output. Now look at what happens. His pen input is 594607. Output is 57, blah, blah, blah. So the actual difference in this from the actual difference in this will be the fee for this transaction. So this person paid almost exactly. He has, so if you have a UTXO that is say 10, let's say 100 Naira UTXO, and you want to give somebody 100 Naira exact, if you not split, right? If you just give that person 100 Naira, or let's say 99, whatever, because there will be a little charge in it, right? And that's why we can see there's a differential between this and that. Instead of $100, we have 96 points something. So about 4 point something was a fee. That's why it was a little bit less. Let's look for transactions that have more than one input, more than one output, sorry. So I come back here. Let's take a look, see. Okay. Let me see. Okay, 2 outputs. Yeah. Let's grab the one. Is there anyone more than 2 outputs? Let's see. Okay, I have one that's 3 outputs. Let's grab that and see. This one has 3 outputs. Okay. Okay, you can see again, this is 12 BTC. The address start of PMF. You can see he paid 2 different people. He paid this person 1,300 USD, paid the second person 348, then return change to himself. So you see, one UTXO was consumed. It has to be consumed. And now produce these new ones. And out of this one, he got back this exchange. So he has this unspent. So once this transaction is gone, he cannot spend this thing again. Remember what we said about double spending? It becomes spent. You can't spend it again. And in all these transactions, that all of them have a timestamp on it, the timestamp machine. One is not the first one is timestamp. All of them have a timestamp. So you know who comes out first. So assuming, you know, a particular UTXO, use it to try to pay to whichever one that showed up first in the network is what is, you know, because you broadcast. Once it happened, they will be broadcasted to the whole network. Remember that. And during that broadcast, everyone will see, say, okay, they record in their ledger, and they all agree this has happened. So this is what happens in transaction. You must spend a transaction completely. You can't have one transaction and do part of it and keep, no. That UTXO will be spent completely and produce 2 more, you know, numerous other UTXO, depending on what is on your script, you know, what you wanted to do. When I saw this script, for you, the spender or the sender, you don't worry about that. You're only just to put the amount, put that. Once you put that, the whole scripting thing happens behind. But as a programmer, you can actually write the script. You can actually program the script and make it behave the way you want it to behave. You can do that, all right? So let's look at the JSON file for this. And this is what it have. I zoom in on that. Yeah, better. So here's the JSON. It's not a Coinbase. We've seen that. If I look at the JSON for that Coinbase, tell us it's a Coinbase, it'll be true there, right? And that's the input. The input here is just one input. And here we have 1, 2, 3 outputs. The way they went and the one that came back to his wallet. Okay. And back to slide. So to prevent double spending without a trusted third party, remember, we don't have a trusted party. What we have is just a simple third party. Simple inside they have the miner, they just validate, you know, they don't come to arbitrate for anybody, right? So transaction must be publicly announced. So for each, we can see that they have announced those transactions in the blockchain. You saw them coming out. Hey, this happened. Hey, I just happened. You know, so, and as it's happened, if you're running a node, if you have a blockchain node, your node will be monitoring, you know, keeping track of that, depending on the kind of node you have. If you have a full node, it does that. You can have a node that is pruned, you know, just limited to some, you know, it depends on how you set up your node. So your node will be following, you'll be asking each other, hey, what's the latest thing? Assuming it went off, you can come back and get the history of what has happened, right? So you also need a system for participants to agree on a single history of the order in which they were received. And that's where the consensus mechanism comes in, right? You have to agree. That's the whole blockchain thing. All these participants have to agree that, yes, this guy came before this one because of the timestamp, right? Now, the payee needs to prove that at the time of each transaction, the majority of the nodes agreed it was the first to be received. So in this diagram, you must have seen the diagram in your portal, right, in the transaction. So we have owner 1, which is public key, right? And there's no input from here. So everything got hashed. Then owner 0 is the person sending out this. Owner 0 have to sign with his signature. So let's say this owner 1 owns this. You want to transfer to owner 2. To owner 2, it will need the public key of the owner 2. That's what happens when you want to send any digital asset. It will ask you the address you are sending to. That's this here, the public key of that, right? They bring gather all the details behind the script, everything, blah, blah, blah. Everything will be hashed. And when they hash, the person that owns it will sign. It's important, right? It forms a puzzle which is attached to the private key of this guy. And you don't have to manually do that. When you just say send, you have signed it. All the thing happened under the hood. But as a programmer, you can actually go look into all this stuff. You can actually go in and do all the scripting, right? So when it signs it, so owner 1 can actually verify that because he signed it with his own private key. So that's how it keeps going on and keep transmitting from one person to the other. Okay. So input and output, I've explained that using those. I just felt it's better to go to the transparency. So it's a fundamental building block of Bitcoin transaction. I mean, the transaction output, right? Transaction output are indivisible chunk of Bitcoin currency recorded on the blockchain and recognized as valid by the entire network. It's indivisible. Indivisible means you must have to consume it. To spend any UTX, you must consume it, then produce new UTXOs. So the full node keeps track of all available spendable output, known as unspent transaction output, UTXO. So what happens actually is that when you say that you receive money, you receive so Bitcoin, for example, or BSV, what it actually means that your wallet can now know, oh, I have a new something I can spend. Because remember, your wallet has your private keys. If you have different digital assets, each of them has its own keys. Okay, no. In normal wallet, you have one key that can manage all those things for you, right? Yeah, but bottom line is that your wallet has the key that can spend an asset. That's what it means that you own it. Okay, so a user's Bitcoin balance is the sum of all UTXOs that the user wallet can spend, and which may be scattered among hundreds of transactions in hundreds of blocks. They can be in each block. One can be in block 25, Other one, let's say somebody from block 25. Okay, no. If you do something there, yeah, yes, you can have something there, can come and have something in block 70,000, in block 700 and something thousand. It's all scattered. The important thing is that once your wallet, interacts with the blockchain, it will unlock everything that you can use. And that's how you aggregate all your, some wallets are designed to even have a database of all your transactions. So its key thing is to track your own transaction. Everything has to do with you. You keep track of all of them, yeah? So most wallets maintain a database, yeah, I just said that, or use a database service to store a quick reference to set off all the UTXO so they can spend with the keys in their control. So you can design when you're building wallet, you can design it so that it keeps track of all the keys, all the digital assets it can unlock. And that's what comes to your total balance at the end of the day, right? Okay. So we've seen this already. No need for this diagram again. We see where one output got split. This is a common transaction. One output and got split into two, right? And pay this guy. You also have a case where you aggregate. I didn't see this. I looked out for it, but let me explain this. Let's say you want to pay somebody, let's say 50,000 naira. I'm converting to naira, right? But you don't have a single UTXO that is 50,000 or greater than 50,000. But you have one that is 45, another one that is 10, another one that is 5. You have like 1, 2, 3, 4, and input, small, smaller amount. What it will do, it will aggregate just the enough required that is equal to or greater than what you want to pay. So in our case, you want to pay 50,000. Now you have 45,000, one that is 45,000. You have another one that is, let's say, 8,000. Another one that is 20,000. So what it will take the 45,000 and the 8,000, add them together. You have 45 and 8. You have 53,000, yeah? Yes. But you want to pay 50,000. Now you tell me what will happen. Now it will aggregate that to, in that you now have output, input 0 and input 1, which equals 53,000. If you now split it into two, one will be 50,000 exact. That's what it's sending to that. Then the change will return to you unspent. So that's what happens. So it can aggregate, you see. It has to aggregate what to form a single. When I say aggregate, it will spend two of them. Remember, once you spend it, you cannot, so they will be spent and give it new output. Those new output is what now goes on. So in this case, we just have one output come back. Just know you have to, we're assuming that you got correct. In this case, you have 45 and 5. When you bring 45 and 5, you have 50, right? Which will give you a single output that comes out. You don't require exchange on that. Another common way transaction happen is distributing transactions. So you have one single input into so many outputs. And this is a case whereby, let's say, if your salary is on the blockchain, for example, once it's month, you want to pay everybody. Let me tell you something. I said before, it doesn't know the value of what you're paying that person. It's immaterial. What it knows is that how many bytes is it processing. So if you have 5 inputs, each of those inputs is a byte. It's not one byte, depending on the size, have a byte. So you have to add all of them together. So 5 input, you might have, let's say one input is about 100 bytes. I'm making this up. So for 5 inputs, you have 500 bytes. Now, when you have 500 bytes, the payload is higher because what you're looking at is the bytes, your payload. So when you aggregate more, UTXOs, the payload gets higher because of the number of bytes. Now you have to multiply depending on how they are, right? And that will affect your fee. It's important to note that. So for something like this, you could just have one input, which is just one few bytes, and you send it out to all. So what happens in this case, it's cheaper for you because you just have one. All you're seeing is, let's say, 100 bytes. Meanwhile, somebody that wants to pay even someone that's lower than you, smaller than what you just paid out, might have to join 3 different UTXOs. Those different will increase the byte that's been transmitted. And that byte that is transmitted is a function of, how heavy your transaction is. So what matters to, like I say again, just the bytes moving, the data moving, not the actual value of what you are doing. So it's important to note that. Okay, I will stop here because we want to take questions about our onboarding that ends tomorrow. So I'm just announcing with this that by tomorrow, sometime tomorrow, we just hope we resolve things quicker. I'm hoping that before 12 p.m., we should have resolved any issue with people that haven't logged on before. If we can resolve that before 12 p.m., the assessment will be unlocked. And when they're unlocked, they will open for you up to 9th of January, right? You just come back, or you just log in and you do your assessment, okay? So at this point, I want to go to the question and answer, especially for people that haven't signed up before. If you are having a problem signing up, please, I want to take your questions. Thank you. For the assessment, the last Twitter space we had, it was said that the quiz will last for 4 days. Does this still stand or change has been made? Also, my fifth work notified me that the materials will be archived in January 9. Hope I will still access it till January 9. Yes, you will access them up to January 9th. So after January 9th, so January 9th, you can still access them until once it's midnight. That's it gone to January 10th. You can't access them anymore. And what I will do is our time, it takes note of our time, but I'll verify that it takes note of our time zone. All right. So our 9th of January ends by midnight of 9th of January. Right. So after that midnight, you get archived. But come on, when we say quiz, it's not one talk. We're not giving you coding to go and do. You're not coding anything. Like what I just explained to you now, you can have, okay, why is Coinbase? It's not part of the question. I'm just giving you something you have. Why don't you have an input in the Coinbase, for example? And you will have options. It's not like as you have options, you have to now tick. Sometimes you might have more than one option. You have to select all the correct options. So in a typical, let me say this, please. All mentors, we want you to, our mentors, we want you to open up all the Telegram channel please. As soon as the assessment is unlocked, we want the Telegram channel to be opened up, please. So you could interact among yourself. So for something like that, it's quite easy. I said again, the essence of this is not like we want you, what is you want? No. The essence is we want you to understand what you studied. So if you come across a situation where you have multiple options, all right, this is correct, you're not sure if this is correct. It's simple, just go back. So I advise you open 2 tabs. So you log on, right? Let me give an instance. Let's say, assuming this is Fifth Work, this is not anyway, but I have a Fifth Work account, so I can actually go to Fifth Work. So let's see, I have one Fifth, here is it. I have Fifth Work here. Okay, so let's say I have this, okay? What I will do, I can open another tab. I can right click on this, hold on. Open in a new tab, for example. So if we open this page I'm looking at in a new tab. Here. It's opening. So let's say I have my assessment going on here, and I have multiple options, and I'm not so sure what it is. I can just come back to this tab here. That one is open. I leave it the way it is. You see, you go back to whatever it is. Oh, maybe it's electronic cash. You didn't read it very well. You can go back to electronic cash, yeah? And let's say spending a coin. Can go back to spending a coin. Maybe the question about spending a coin, they gave you some option. You're confused. Just go back to spending a coin. Read it again. Understand it. That's the point. We want you to understand it. That's the purpose. Remember, we're trying to empower Nigerians to be leaders, in blockchain, global leaders in blockchain. So our interest is to equip you, okay? Not necessarily give you a certificate. It doesn't make much difference for us. And I'm glad what I'm seeing already. And people are contacting me. There are someone contacted me today. I won't give the whole details because we're a private subject. This guy, he works with an organization. So the organization knew he was coming to for this program. They're supporting him to come for this program. They have provided logistics for him to come for this program, but they want a solution for their organization. So they're having issue and they know blockchain will solve this problem. So they are sending him. So he's in this course because his organization wanted it to be there. And he already have an idea of project he wants to do. So he was asking me, oh, but you say we are going to share, we really want to group people in their project. Actually, what we will do is we will give you the list of projects. First of all, we'll talk with our people in the ecosystem. We have started interacting with them already. If they have special interest, things they want to do, we'll put them as projects. Then if you yourself have a particular project that will suit your organization, that will be beneficial to your organization, it could be a government organization, it could be a private organization. So we'll give you the option to bring those projects. Then we'll look at all of them. So there will be what we'll do, we'll publish a list of projects at the end of the day. Now, people that have interest, we won't tell you which one to do. No, we'll just say, look at the projects there. You will now signify interest, the one you want to do. Another way that can happen, we're already having a meetup will start. As soon as we enter the second, we're starting meetup. So the meetup, it could be that in your meetup, in your locality, in your city, you could come up with, hey, we want to do this project. That's fine. Just tell us this is what you want to do. We put it there. All right. So you guys in that locality can still do it. You could see a project that you are in Kano, but another person is in Lagos, but all of you are interested in the project. You can still work in how people work remotely now. That's the intent now. Everyone, you sit in your house, you collaborate. In fact, it'll be very good for you to learn. Because remember, when you say you do internship you are not necessarily traveling to Belgium, to Germany. No, you'll be in Nigeria, be doing the internship. So it's an opportunity for you to learn how to work remotely. And what it means is that you learn about the tools. You learn how the tools they use to work remotely, to collaborate. You know one already, you know the GitHub. That's one thing you can use to collaborate. There are other tools, for communication. So this is, you're getting a hell lot of package from this. You're being trained to meet the demands of right now, So I'm just saying this, for your project phase, if you have ideas, we'll give you an opportunity to bring them and you'll be able to choose which project you want to do, right? Okay. So yes, the assessment, once we open it, will be available to that January, like I was saying. So you could come back here after reading it and digesting it very well. You go back there and shoot your option and go to the next one. So you have enough time to do that. If you get opened by tomorrow, right? So up to 9th, yeah? Everybody should be able to finish the assessment without issue. Okay. Take another one. My question here is minor, validate, and record transaction. I need more. We have, if you watch my question here is minor, validate, and record transaction. I need more explanation. Yeah, they validate in the sense that they will check. That transaction you just did, is there a spent UTXO in it? If there is, it's invalid. So those are the kind of things they will check, right? Okay, you finish a transaction. Remember, they said the puzzle, the key, the puzzle, is it correct? If it's not correct, it's invalid. But if it's correct, now when I say record, they will go to that main pool. All those transactions you are seeing, that's the main pool, right? They will go and bring transactions that are interested and put in there. Remember, we look at a block that have 2,000 something transactions. So that particular block has 2,400 something transactions plus the Coinbase. And that guy won he was the first person to finish it. I'm sure it should be a pool because they're pooling it these days. They're using pools to make it faster and more, get more reward. So he forms that one. So when we say validate, you confirm, is it correct? If it's valid, it has to be valid in the first place. You can't spell what you don't have. So that would be by valid. If you want to pay somebody 50 USD, you must have 50 USD at least. If you don't have 50, it's invalid. It won't even go. So when they validate it, they will now, when we say record, they are putting it in recording in the ledger. The ledger is the blockchain, remember, that blockchain is the ledger. So putting it there, what we call by recording, and that's the work of the miners, yeah? Somebody say, you say completely, okay, I'll answer them. You say this is complete 100% cashless. That means there's no way of transferring this to a traditional bank account for withdrawal. There are tons of ways. I mean, the whole essence is peer-to-peer. So you have the economy where you want to, why are you putting your bank in the first place? I know in Nigeria right now, we should be aware, CBN banned banks from doing anything cryptocurrency. It's a regulation. And I said it before, regulations are good for any enterprise. I mean, for any sector, because without regulation, you will not be protected like now. So that's the regulation of CBN, right? So assuming that regulation is in place, I would say that one way you could be that you want to buy, let me say you want to buy cloth from somebody, okay? And this person is accepting digital currency from you. Yeah, you can send straight to the person's address. It's boundless. It's not bounded by territory, right? And the person gets it and return to you. So CBN have no problem with that. Their problem is you don't go to, they say banking institutions should not get involved in this. So I'm saying this because this is a federal government project and we know these laws, these regulations are there. And that's why we say from the get-go, we're more interested in applications of blockchain, not necessarily for cryptocurrency. Yeah, you get all those keys because we learn everything. That's why it's education. You have to learn everything. I'm sure the ban will not be forever. There's no way it will be forever. At some point, it will be lifted, right? So, and again, it's not a bad thing in the sense that there are some, it's not just in Nigeria, there are some other countries too that have all kind of regulation that frowned on it, you know, and it's fine. If you be a regulator, it's better they err on the side of caution, right? Yeah, but again, we are training 30,000 people. What are you guys gonna do? You have to come up with solutions. So I hope by the time your solutions start hitting the market, start hitting the left, they will see it and probably will help to, shape what the regulation will look like, will be like. Because if we have 30,000 people trained, and let's say we have 10% of you guys bringing startup on blockchain, come on, you'll be backed by the law too. NITDA they have a paper. In fact, they have a policy for blockchain. NITDA has policy for blockchain. So there's a backing by the law for that. It's only the crypto part that the CBN had issue with. Other than that crypto part, everything blockchain, the government supports it. That's why the Ministry for Communication, which is a federal government agency, is training you guys on blockchain. So yes, you have government support. By the time we are out from this training and you guys start producing, of course, they will be there. The minister will, I hope the minister will be there. The DG definitely, I know, will be there, right? And we showcase what you have. So, and if you're in this program, you should be very proud of yourself, honestly, because you're trying to shape the direction of blockchain adoption in Nigeria. So I say again, congrats to all of you that made it to this program. And there are some people out there, we accepted them, we set up the account, but they haven't. Some thought maybe, yeah, because we said 2 weeks earlier. So I noticed some people say, we thought it was over, so it didn't bother again. So we're telling them it's not over, you can still do it. You have till tomorrow. I'll make sure that up to 12 p.m. tomorrow, if you haven't signed up, you can still sign up, right? So we'll hold on to at least 12 p.m. tomorrow, Friday, for people that haven't signed up to sign up. So today I want and again, we'll be having walk-in session tomorrow, not lecture, walk-in session. What it means is that if you're having problems, just come. Walk in anytime you want. We'll make it a longer period. I will recruit, not just me, I'll bring in, I noticed there are some guys that are good, I've been interacting with a lot of you. Some have been talking with me. Some guys are very good already. So we bring them into the panel. Okay, so you can come in, ask any question, and people will answer you. So we'll leave that session open for a longer time. We'll share the link in the Telegram group. So you can walk in tomorrow if you're having issue. We'll leave it open for a long time. We might not run shift. I'll do some hours. Other people will do other hours, just so we can attend to a lot of people. Just so we will have all of you getting into the second phase, because that's where the cocoa is, right? This is just a preamble. We are doing introduction. This is just a preamble. We want to get to the point where you know, I work with the military. How can we use blockchain in the military? How can we track all the military hardware? You know, all the all those ballistic hardware. How can we try them using blockchain so that it's accurate? You know, you can know where everything is at every point in time, and nobody can go and mutilate anything. You can't supply so I tell you, we don't know what happened. No, if you use blockchain, you can track all those things. How can we use it in the military? So if you're in the military and you're in this place, think about that. It could be your project. And if you bring that, we'll also look at it. We'll try to create something that will help you solve that problem. You are in the medical field, you are working with the FMC, Federal Ministry of Health, whatever, you're a medical doctor, right? How can we, you're a pharmacist, okay? How can we tackle fake drugs? Because it's killing people. Blockchain can do that effectively from production to the time it's being used. Blockchain can track everything and it's genuine. Nobody can mutilate it. Nobody can go and change anything in it. It's real, okay? You are with the Federal Ministry of Interior. How do we manage our identity? How do we prevent forgery? Blockchain will do that very well. So no matter the field you are, please, this is it. So don't stress about the assessment. There's something you can do. When they come up, go back, read it very well, then answer the question and move to the next one. I'm sure that every one of you will make it to the second stage, yeah? Okay. Please, I'm trying to set up GitHub. Let me just keep going. I want to take questions that have to do with signing up more. Let me just see. I'm trying to set up GitHub and get the videos as described, blah, 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 by the tube. I really need, okay. I really want to know what I am doing wrong to access videos. Also, on one of the introduction classes, you say Fifth Work has videos. I can't see. Okay, yeah, sorry. So Fifth Work, there's no video. I was saying based on prior experience I had, it's just reading. You read through those materials, then you do the assessment. There's no real video in Fifth Work, okay? So don't worry about them. Those reading is enough. You want to know, after each reading, give you a link, learn more. So what you could do, click that link and go to that link and learn more in depth about that, so that everything I say here will not be news to you, okay? We really appreciate therefore. Okay, so introduction to Bitcoin theory is the main course, but only abstract introduction and transaction discuss. What about the rest? Okay, so remember we focused on giving you JavaScript and Golang. So we just started this. As we go on, what I will do, I won't go through every course one by one. No, I'll pick key topics. For example, I'll pick proof of work as a topic. 1 full hour, we discuss everything about proof of work. So I won't go try to, you already read through them. Okay, it's more like a review. I'm not teaching the course all over. No, that's not the point, because you already gone through the courses. So what I'm trying to do, where you have some difficulty understand some concept, if you see what happened today, I just went straight into the Explorer and explained to you transaction. You're right. I didn't start reading through what you have in the material. So, and that's the approach we'll take. So those core places that require some technical help for you to understand, we'll just pick it as a course and teach it. So, for example, proof of work will be a course of its own. There are some things we've noted we have to teach, you know, more of like a revision, trying to make people understand it more. Like we said, the main thing is for you to understand this, right? Okay. So I've answered that. Okay. Okay. My question is what hash means? Oh, so hash is just a way of representing any data with a particular is a fingerprint. And that fingerprint, if you change anything in that data, the fingerprint will change. It seems you were in yesterday's class because I opened up a browser and did a hash. I still have that browser open. Let me confirm. Yes, I still have it open. Look at this. I came here yesterday. Take this out of the way. 1 minute. So the person telling me hash. What's your name? Let me look at your name. Your name is where is the hash? The guy that asked about hash. Did I miss that? Oh, it's anonymous. You don't have a name. Okay, I'll type anonymous anyway. See, anonymous. So you see anonymous. This is the hash. It's a function. Somebody wrote a code. He called it, this is SHA-256. So what it does, give it anything, it will just give you a fixed length digit, alphanumeric digit, all the small letters and numbers that represent what you wrote. So when I type anonymous, look at the fingerprint here. It starts with E9 and stops at 16. That's the fingerprint. That's the hash. So why this? Why is that if you go and change any figure here, this hash will change. Remember when we were showing you the Bitcoin, we said the block header, we saw the hash. So if you go and change anything in the blockchain, let me try to do that. Let's go to the blockchain. 1 minute, please. Here is I can minimize this, I guess. Okay, this is a blockchain, for example. This block 1, block 2, block 3. We didn't start from block 0, but it's fine. And let's watch. This is the Genesis block. So look at the hash. 000. Whenever you see 0000, just know that it's signed. They have signed that. Remember, it's not easy to get this. For you to get something that is 000, you must have mined it. You have signed it already. So when you see 0000, blah, 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 it has been hashed. And what is the data here? So this is a block. Now look, in this block, it has entry for the previous block. Let's look at the previous block. The previous block is 0015. Look at it, 0015. So you have record for the previous block and this. So if you go and change something, let's say I come here and add an extra data, anonymous. For example, this hash has changed. It has changed now. It's no more, and you can see it's broken. But if I remove everything here, it comes back to the exact hash it had before. So hashing is just a way to make sure that you can't tamper with a thing. And that's how blockchain is tamper-proof. If you, yes, you can tamper, but if you tamper it, we know. And remember, the miners will drop it. Nobody will take it. Okay? So you can actually, yeah. So when I change something here, look at what happened. All this other block, you know, they are now invalid. You could see they are invalid because I changed something here. I remove it. But yes, you can actually mine something. I can change something and mine it. For example, I put that it have changed, right? So let's mine it. Remember, mining means what nouns can we have here that will make this valid? Look at the previous one. Start with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. We want 4 zeros here. That's mining. So let's mine this block, for example. It's mining. Let's wait a bit. We are trying to find what number nouns can we put here that will make the whole of this hash out to the difficulty level we want, which is we want 4 zeros at the beginning. And now it's hashing. Sorry, it's mining. That's what miners do. It's taking time because of the processor I'm using. And in a real blockchain stuff, it will take you average of 10 minutes to be able to form a block. That's why when we're looking at here, we saw the difficulty level and the nouns that are very important. right? They always make reference back to them. So we are mining is trying to find what nouns can we put here for us to have 4 zeros at the beginning. And once we get this, you have mined the block. I could have put something. Well, I won't have known what to put anyway. So you just have to mine it. Like, again, the guy that asked the question, when you hash a program, when you hash any document, even a video, you can hash a video, you can hash a software. In fact, you can hash an entire machine. Let me tell you this. There's a company, I won't call their name, but it's a multinational company. Multi, big company. What they do, when they close work and shut down their machines, they will make a hash of all the machines, the hard drive, the data they had. They will make a hash of the data and store in a blockchain. So when they come the next morning, they'll also make a hash of all of them and compare it was on the blockchain. If it's changed, they know it has been tampered with. They will know which one. If it doesn't change, so that's cyber security. You use blockchain for that. You hash your data when you are living for something, okay? Store in the blockchain. Why the blockchain? Because the blockchain, if you tamper with it, people will know. See what happened now? I've mined this one. So this one is green, but this one is not because it does. So I'll have to mine this. I'll have to go keep mining. That's why we say when you are forming a long block, the CPU power, amasses, it adds up. So for an attacker to go and redo 10 nodes, for example, come on, it's nearly impossible. You have to mine this. So what I'm supposed to do after mining this one, I'll come and mine this one. Assuming I'm a hacker, let's say. Remember, I changed something here. This guy said, you've changed something. We know. I said, okay, don't worry, I will mine you. And I'm mining it, right? So when I mine this one, it will be correct. But that's one part of the blockchain. Remember, blockchain is distributed. So this is one node, one single node, computer node. You did this on a single computer node, right? And you say, I've succeeded. But you have thousands of nodes in the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, for example, and all of them has the ledger. So what they will do, when they compare the longest chain, the majority, when they compare your node, your data, with your blocks with other ones, they find that your own is wrong, and your own will be, dropped. So you waste all this energy. See what time it took me to mine this, power and everything. This is small because I'm just using a small stuff. After mining all this, it goes to waste. So what's the point? You have no incentive to cheat. You only have incentive to be a good player in the blockchain. And that's what happens. So this guy is still mining. That's the hash power now. I've mined this, I've mined that, but I'm going to do it on one machine. You can't do it on thousands of machines. You don't even have access to those machines to go and do them. As if I own 20% of all the machines in the blockchain. I do it on 20% of all my machines. It will still be dropped because it's the minority, right? Because I'll just pass. This guy is still mining. It's taking a lot of time. So you can see what you're supposed to do. And by the time you are finishing this, new blocks have formed already. They have extended the, so you are getting done with this and it gets dropped because it's not the longest chain. So that's how using hashing mechanism and distributed computing, right? It prevents counterfeiting. So if you use this system, you can check counterfeiting in medicine, in drugs, in foods, right? Even in agriculture, right? Sometimes you want to export your goods, your product, they say, hey, we are not sure. We are not sure about the condition with which you grow this thing. We are concerned. What was the humidity like? What was the chemical? All those stuff, and you can't prove it. A blockchain-based system can solve agricultural traceability problems such that people that sign up to that framework, right? You can use IoTs to gather all those data as they are happening, that get automatically going to the blockchain, and you have proof of them. You can't change them. Now, see, this guy is still mining. One simple thing, like it's still taking time. So hashing is one of the mechanisms of preventing tampering on the blockchain. You can tamper, yes, you can tamper with it, but it will not propagate. That's the thing. Yes, you can tamper with some nodes, but those nodes will get dropped anyway. It will not be part of the longest chain. The longest chain will keep going on. and your own will be dropped. So there's no incentive for you to, the only thing you can do, hey, how do I get my hardware to the point where I can be an honest node and mine and earn? We saw that guy, that block we looked at, he earned 6.2 something Bitcoin, which is, if you multiply that by 16,000 US, you know what it is. Oh, finally has mined. So now I mine this block and this block, right? But it's only on one node. In a real life situation, in a normal blockchain, it's distributed. Look at that's the third part. So CPI-A, this is a node A, you can call it node A. Now look, CPI-B, right? CPI-C, and they all have the same data. Let's look at that. Let's take block number 2. So in block number 2, look at the hash of this one. It starts with 00012FA. Let's check this one, block number 2. 00012FA. Let's check another node that participated. 00012FA. Okay, we have just 3 nodes, but in a real life, you have thousands of nodes. All of them have the exact same copy. Now, if you go to one node, which you control, and change something, let's say here, how can I make this simple? I don't know. Let's say, let me just say change. I changed something here and I want to mine this. I hope it doesn't take the whole day. So I'm assuming I came now to the blockchain. I can, oh, great, this was fast, yes? So see, you've mined this, it's looking good, but in essence, let's compare this one to the next one, to the next ledger, let's see. So this one is 000B4B. Now let's see this guy. This one is 0012F. Different. Let's see the next guy. 12F. So who are the majority? PRC and PRB are the majority. So they will delete, they will drop this guy. So this is invalid. So yes, you can actually tamper with the data, but will not propagate. That data will be dropped. And that's the beauty of the blockchain. I hope that kind of clears air on that. Let me get back to the Q&A. There. Okay. As pertaining to wallet, which one is more preferable, my 2 cents and cent B? Please, the thing is, you can also make your own wallet. They're all wallets. But for this course, because we are doing learn to earn is implemented with cent B. So and it's optional. All of these things are optional. You must not earn. If you don't want to earn, don't install any, and you can leave everyone. But if you want to earn, the only thing is that, okay, we are using cent B for this. That's why in fifth work, you have to put in your cent B stuff. My 2 cents also is a project in this BSV course. In fact, he took a class, and you people saw him, right? And he also have certain ways you can earn, but not attached to this course. Anybody can earn on my 2 cents. You mustn't be in this course. But on this cent B, you have to be in this course to be able to earn. You get it? So they're all wallets. And you can have 3, you can have 10 wallets in your this thing. You can create your own wallets. Okay. So it's your choice. And again, you mustn't install any of them. But for CentB, if you want to earn, you have to use CentB on this. Hopefully, when we get you guys done and we come up with some solid project, we put it on the ecosystem. We put it, I prefer to use the one from this this cohort in the next, assuming we're going to have a next cohort. I hope so. If we do have a next one, I want to use some of you guys' products, right? And one good thing is that BSV will support you. Now, why do you think you are earning BSV? You're earning BSV because BSV is supporting it. So I want you to know that those things you are earning, actually BS is coming from BSV. Know this. Those rewards you are getting is BS. That's why they're giving you BSV. So shout out to BSV. Shout out for what they are doing to support this course. It's very important. Shout out to them, okay? So you're actually earning BSV. So if we have our own project in here, we can get BSV also to come and support it. So people will use your own work and those people will earn BSV. So we can also do this earn and learn using product from you guys, okay? So why do you have to aggregate? Why are all UHS not added up? You can't add, or you have to aggregate only the ones you need. Remember, each one is independent. Each one you use, you consume it. So what's the point of consuming everything you have? Remember, the more you aggregate, the more the byte you're sending, the more charges you will pay. So why do you want to do that? You want to use as many. So if you want to pay 95 USD and you have one that is 80 and one that is 10 and one that is 30, you take 80 and 10, which is not no, it's not up to so. So what I'm trying, you use just the minimal that is equal to or greater than the minimum that's equal to or greater than. In fact, your wallet does it automatically, not you. You don't even do it. Your wallet is designed. When you go to wallet design, you see how it's done. Your wallet is designed to automatically choose the minimal that can pay out. So why do you want to pay more fee by adding all your UTSOs together? Is there a reason for that? I don't know. There could be a reason for your, it depends on your application. If you have application that want to add everything, well, good. You can add up everything. But if you can have only one, it's better. Just one to one out to better. Most that you will not have because, like I told you, it's not like in normal accounting, all your money adds up together. In Bitcoin, each UTSO is on its own. You can account. In fact, every node in the blockchain, they scan for all the available UTXs. They know the available UTXOs. They scan for all of them. So at every point in time, you can even know how many UTXOs are available on the blockchain. So as you consume them, they shrink. As you mine them also, they increase. So you can shrink and increase depending how is on the transaction going on. Do we have the resources during the assessment? Yes, you have all your resources. Assessment, it doesn't lock up. Look, the assessment is not like one locked up thing with a timer. No. Yes, to my best of my knowledge. I've technically not done fifth work assessment, really. I've done same course, right, under different platform, okay? Except it's different, but if it is, we'll know. Whatever it is, it will be relaxed. Again, the point is not to make you fail. No, the point is to make you understand. And I found out that sometimes when you are doing, why do we even need assessment? During the assessment, you now go back to, some people just come and read through without understanding what they're reading. But when you now have assessment, it makes you to now pause and go back and read it. So the assessment is for you to actually understand the intent. And that's why we will open up all the Telegram channels. All the state telegrams will be open so that as you're doing it, you can ask your peer, they will explain to you, come on, this is a peer work. It's a work together. Yeah, you have issue, you could ask questions. Don't tell people the answer. I don't like, so when people come to me, someone give me a screenshot, oh, I can't do this. I'll be having error. I'll look at the screenshot. I say, okay. The error say that so go to like this thing, fix that. Most and the error will tell you what it is. Please, it's better if look at the stage. First of all, when you encounter a problem, okay, go back and read it again. That's the first thing. Follow it like that. If you're doing your assessment, you see something, don't ask anybody. No, go and read it again carefully. You will get it. After reading carefully, you don't get it again. Okay. You couldn't get, okay, you could ask questions. You could, oh no, you're on your own, you could actually Google it. But don't go to Google first. No. When you see something you don't understand it, go back and read it. Try to understand on your own. Please do it for your own good. Try to understand. When you can't understand it, look at the material. There are some extra things they say you can go to, so finish all those work yourself first. When you could do, then you could now ask. And when you are answering questions, please don't give the person the direct answer. Tell the person the concept behind it. Okay. Tell the person, okay, have you gone through this? Okay, wow, what if this? No, don't just say this is it. No, A. No, don't say A or B. No. Go through that. You already know the question. If you know it, allow the person, just tell the person, okay, this is the concept behind it. Okay, go through it again. Let it be that it's your work. Okay, please do that. It will help you. Don't just go, you solve it and please don't solve it and give people the answer. It's wrong. It's so wrong. That's what we're training you for. See all the effort we are putting in. See the time we are putting in. We could have just left you, hey, go through those at the end of the day. Bro, we select people. No, but we are making time. We are coming online. We are going through this thing. To prepare this lecture notes, this is the first cohort we are having. So most of the things we are doing from scratch. It takes me a lot of effort to prepare what I'm doing now every day. So for every day I come to have a class with you, I put in nothing less than 7-8 hours, just trying to make sure I get all the things you will need. That's so much effort you are putting in. All right. And I want you to replicate that. So when someone asks a question, try to make the person understand, you know, just giving the person the clues to the question, to the answer, okay? But let's be that person understands what he's doing. So that's it. Please, how do you write a script? You will write a script. Scripting is part of the program. Towards the end, it's more advanced. You will write scripts, okay? What the assessment pass mark? Of course, assessment pass mark. Because I've not really taken this fifth work, I know sometimes the regular one, I think is 70% or so. I'm not so sure, but you will see it there. You know, you will see it in the assessment instead. All right. I've completed my materials, but each time I log in platform, tell me start the course. Yeah, it's telling because you have not done the assessment. Don't worry. Once the assessment comes in, you do them and you progress. Okay. How many questions? Honestly, I don't know how many questions for each topic. For, you know, we have abstract, we have introduction, we have this for each one, each of that. For each session, at the end of each section, for each section, you have questions. So for each one, you open up that as you are doing it, you're also reading up. What if we bookmarks it? Will you be able to access bookmark after 9 years? This course will be archived. We are moving to the next course. So all of you, by the time we are done with this, we are all moving to the new course. So you'll be talking about the new course, not this one again, okay? Okay. And of course, I hope you are making some salient point, make some notes. You should have a note. Like me, I use Microsoft OneNote. For any course I'm doing, sometimes I do screenshot. In OneNote, you can actually screenshot stuff. Yeah, in OneNote, I can do some screenshot, I can copy and paste, you know, I can make some. So that way I have those material, I can always refer to them whenever I want. So this is regarding the review. Does the eNITDA work on blockchain if it is a kickoff? Yeah, eNITDA works on a blockchain, but it's not a public blockchain. I think it's a consortium blockchain. Of course, you don't expect a central bank of a country to put their crypto on a public blockchain. All right. So they have private blockchain, because they need absolute control of it. You know, it's permission. Maybe at some point they might invite some players. And I hope some of you might be the players. Remember, I'll tell you this, CBN, they want to functionalize eNITDA. They want ways to make it function, they want to increase the use case of eNITDA. Please, if you have ideas, bring them up. I'll be happy for us to have them as your project. If you have ideas of projects that can functionalize the eNITDA, please, we want to hear about them. And I'm sure CBN will be happy to support work like that. So yes, there's a lot of opportunity for you guys here. Okay, good. I need a link for Lagos Telegram group base. I've posted a link for let me give you a link. I'll post it again now. You can go there and you see the Telegram group for all the states. Let me pull it up, 1 minute. I think it's here. Telegram group. All the state groups. This is the link. I copy this, Ctrl+C. Come and put it in this question here. I need a link. Let me type the answer. So this is it, Ctrl+V. If you go to this link, to this page, you will see all the groups. In fact, I have that page open somewhere. Let me confirm that. No, not you here. I think I have that page open. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so that's the link. I've pasted the link on, let me put it on the general chat also. On the general chat for everybody to see. To everyone. State Telegram groups. Oops. Okay, here's the link. So if you click that, you will see all of them. You can see here we have the general Telegram. Everybody's on that. Then we have the state Abia, Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, listed in alphabetical order up to Zamfara, Yobe, Zamfara. So just go there, click the link. It will take you to your state group. Okay. All right. Q&A. Can transaction bounce back when making transaction? Transaction, it either goes through or it doesn't. It doesn't bounce back. Once you make a transaction, once it's consumed, it's done. The only thing is that it might delay in getting to the block. Do you know why? Remember, miners, they don't have obligation to record your own transaction. No. They're interested in what are they gaining? What is their gain to record you? So if you have a good, if your transaction fee is good for them, you'll be the first guy to record. But if you have almost close to $0 as a transaction fee, it will be there for a long time, but somebody will finally put it there. So you might put your transaction, it might take another 5 hours, 8 hours before it gets into the blockchain. But the transaction will be on the memory pool. Once you make a transaction, you cannot reverse it. It's gone. And that's the beauty of blockchain. And that's why it beats legacy banking, the traditional banking, where you can make a transaction. After you have gone, they'll call you back, say, they reversed that, they've seized that fund. No, it doesn't happen in blockchain. That's why it's a good method for micropayments. You know how sometimes you go to make payment. I've said this before. I was in Onisha main market one time. I bought mosquito net, right? This one that springs up like that. And I bought it. So this guy, he said, yeah, I can pay him by transfer. I did a transfer for him. He went through. I said, okay, give me. He said, no, I've not got the money. I said, okay, take my, that was it. That should be like the third time I was buying from that guy. So, but I bought 3 times from you before. So take my phone number. If anything, give me a call. I said, no, well, he can't release that thing for me. I have to wait until he gets it. So I left him. This other stuff came back. He hasn't got it yet. Now I had to go back and now do POS. I brought cash and gave to him. And said, okay, when you get it, send it back to me. So finally, when I checked on, he has got it, but it took him 2 days to return my money. So that's the problem of legacy banking. But with the blockchain, once you make a transaction, bam, it's gone. It's not going to reverse. All right. So I would like people to explore projects that have to do with micropayments, please, in the project phase. So I've mentioned certain things already. We've mentioned cooperative. In fact, this evening I was just somewhere, someone was making phone call and I said, hey, want to start, how do they put it? Doing what they call agile, bringing money together, There will be, so at the end of the year, you have bulk money to collect. I look at it, when they are done, I told the person, hey, I hope you don't put your money in that because they'll give the money to somebody anyway. Maybe towards that time, the person used the money and do business and he had problem, or the person is not even available. Anything can happen to you and your money is gone, right? But you can implement that on the blockchain. And blockchain is it's a smart contract. You do the contract thing. If you say this is the rotation, it's smart, it's pure, it works. So whether you're there, nobody will be in charge. Nobody will say, hey, you know what? Let's not give this guy, let's give the other guy because of A, B, C, D. No, you just set the contract, it will execute. So think about doing products that have to do with cooperatives where they pool resources together and get all kinds of rewards. Think about that. We would like to have that, okay? Think about micropayments. Think about the e-Naira. What can we do with the e-Naira? Even if it had nothing to do with BSV blockchain, just think about that. The project must not be tied to BSV blockchain, please, okay? So think about the e-Naira. How can we functionalize it? 30,000 Nigerians. I hope we have a pool of talented people that can come up with solutions, and that's what we want, all right? Okay. Is the assessment time? No, assessment is not timed. The invite for classes was sent to me immediately before introduction part. Please, do I have to go through all classes? No, please. If you are just joining, concentrate on introduction to Bitcoin theory. You can do other ones later. Just go through that course, introduction to Bitcoin theory and Fitwork. That's what we need for now, okay? That's what takes you to the next stage. How can we get prototype of question for practice with? It's simple. You don't need, come on. Wait. I could share. Hold on. Let me pull up my one document. But I answered those questions. Anyway, yes, you know what? I'll put up a prototype. Yes, I'll put it on. The ones I have, I've already I answered them and I screenshot it. So I won't want to give it to you. So what I'll do, I'll put up in a prototype, something like that, not answered, just the options. I'll put it just so you people could see. I think it's good. Thanks for that question. I'll do that, yeah? Okay, my understanding of blockchain technology is that it depends much on internet availability. What happened to the system in poor or lack of internet? Okay, it depends. There are some layers, what we call side chains. I'm not sure we're discussing side chain. I'll look at the whole curriculum again. In the side chains, you could have some kind of you have the main blockchain, right? You can have another side chain that processes transactions. So it also validates and do those processing, right? And then communicates with the main blockchain. So even when it's not available, remember, blockchain, you just have to be able to communicate with a node. That's all. So, and one good thing is, assuming I'm a node and another person is a node, and somehow we are networked together, we'll still communicate, right? So, yes, you need internet for the transaction, but the moment you have access to internet or, you could mobile, it works very well with mobile also. So, yeah, there's a side chain, like the Lightning Network, that was built, it's a layer on top of the Bitcoin. Something like that allows you to do offline processing. It's complex. I'm not sure. I'll look at the curriculum again, know if we are treating that part. But yes, you could have a situation. There are solutions that allow you to do transaction offline. And I think it's something we'll have to look into this course, because we'll find out that in our own case, at some points you might be offline, where you are, you don't have network and you have to do transaction. And that's what we actually bring in take this thing to the villages, a farmer that doesn't even know what a bank is, but probably just have a phone that can do simple things, send text message and all stuff like that, right? With that, actually, he can also participate. So we will look at solution that revolves around that offline thing. Offline, yeah, because it will be a solution that works very well in Nigeria, where infrastructure is a big problem. Imagine when I'm in Indonesia and I'm trying to do broadcast sometimes, I still have difficulty, and I have access to, let me not call the network, but I have access to 2 different networks. I have unlimited version for all of them, and sometimes difficult trying to get something done. Yes, good question. Okay, sir, please, can you help me put more light on Merkle tree? I'm lost on that. Merkle tree is a data structure. There will be a course, so I'll have a course on proof of work. I have another course on Merkle tree. Merkle tree is not particular to Bitcoin. It's a computer science thing. It's a data structure that makes searching through and inserting and searching for data very, very fast, because at each time it reduces what you're supposed to search by half. So it's very, very fast. The complexity, it seems to be log n. I'm not sure, sorry. I'm not sure, but it's something I have to look up again. Very fast. So, which of the infrastructure, node, timestamp, server, miner does the function of hashing blocks? Does each of these functions in synergy form? Hey, timestamp is just all this. Let me say, in a single node, you have all these things. When you set up a Bitcoin node, you have all these things in it. Mining is optional. You can also add mining. So it's something that happens concurrently. The node is just the computer itself, okay? So every node that is part of the blockchain, can process transactions, every single node. So you can even do something and you process on your own node. All you have to do, once it happens, it will broadcast. Is that broadcast? You broadcast, is that what happened? Let me show you a node for 1 minute. Okay. Not sure. Let's pull this out of the way. And pull this out. So what command did I give here? Let me see. I have a node running. This is a Bitcoin node. It's running on a cloud server somewhere. Let me check the command I did here. Okay, I think I grabbed get raw transaction. No. Okay, let me look at the information on this, my nodes. So there's a command called Bitcoin -CLI. I want to get the blockchain info for this. Enter. So here I have, it's a main, yes. You have 77,000 and something blocks. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. 770,005, blah, 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 blah. And the same thing for the headers, right? Time, the meantime, and look at here. Interesting thing here is pruned, true. So what happens is that the Bitcoin node is 4 point something gig. The size is very large, right? So you might have, your computer might not have all the size, all the space. So you can say prune. When you prune it, you tell it, I want to run a node, but I only want 1 gigabyte of data on my node. So what do you do? Like, I cannot see block 0 here. I can't access block 0 is not here. So because I use prune, I don't have much space here. So it will just, if I say I want 1 gig data, it will only install data that is up to 1 gig. Then, you keep adding up, following what's going on. So this is a node. You can do so many things. I can get block headers. Get block. Let me see if this block exists. Yeah. So, okay. Let me run that again. 1 minute. Why is it hanging again? So these are transactions in this block. Uh-oh, why is it still here? Anyway, so what I did here, I grabbed a block. I have that. Okay, here is it. Oh, it's still doing, it's still moving. Thousands of blocks, So these are transactions. Let me pull up the command I just gave. I said, Bitcoin CLI get block. You see the hash 0000. Remember we talk about the hashing. That's, see the hashing there. The sign it's a signed block. Anything you see 0, this block has been signed. So I want you to get this block. And what did he get for me? I can't see the whole thing because, but I can save it into a text file and look it. Okay, let's say, get this block, save it into, let me call it block info.txt. Okay, so let's view block info, VI. Oops, block info. No. Did I type this word? Block. Here is it. Okay, so here is the block. You see, it gives me the hash. This is the hash of the block. This block has 47 confirmations. Imagine 47 is done. Whenever a block has 6 confirmations, it's as good as done. Nothing's going on again. And you know why I say this? I mentioned to you what we call the orphan block before. 2 miners can mine the same block at the same time, okay? It's already mined, right? But only one of them will get elongated. So whichever one gets elongated, the other one will have to be dropped. The transaction inside in that block will go back to the pool, the main pool, right? So that we get into the next block. That's what happens. So you can have 1 block, just only 1 block confirm your transaction, but eventually it gets back into the pool. Doesn't mean it will not get, because for that transaction to even be there, it has been approved. It's only that, has it gone into the block? When you get to the block, it's short. So look at it. Here's the maker root for this, and here's our nouns. The important things we need here. Here's the nouns for this. They used to, and this is the difficulty level, and these are important in every block, and the step side. Then these are the transaction, blah, 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 blah. And look at the transaction. This is a key value pair. So you can write a Go program to grab this file, right? You check for TX and count for you the number of transactions here, for example, or look for a particular transaction. You can do that. You can write a Go program that go in. Remember, if you want to access the value, you just copy the key. So I can give this a file name. The file name is block something. So I can say block info in square bracket TX. I can say for element in, TX, blah, 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 for social I equals 0, increment I. So as it's going, it's counting. At the end of the day, I'll have the number of transactions here. It'd be interesting to see you do that. So you can actually write a code like that. So this is a node. I'm not in the Bitcoin Explorer, but I'm communicating with the blockchain because this node is part of the blockchain. So for this case now, I don't have a mining software here. But on your own, you can put a mining stuff if you have the hardware to support it. If not, you'd just be wasting your resources, right? So if you have a mining, so all these things you could have in a node, you can, depending on how you want it. You can have a full node. We'll see if you have gone through the course, you should know you have a lightweight node, the one you use in your phone, because phones don't have all the capacity to have all the nodes, everything in the node running. Okay, you just have the basic stuff for you, especially I think have to with your wallet. Then you can ask other nodes whenever I want to do. You can ask the node on the network, hey, what about ABC? And he gets the answer on that. We're going to end this in the next 3 minutes. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll send you the link. We'll be around for a long time. But please, I want more questions about enrollment for now. I want to make sure we hit the mark and exceed the mark we want to hit, okay? So thank you, Khalid. How do we connect with you directly? I've tried several times, but connect. The thing is, on my Telegram, man, most times since we started this program, it's like this is my full-time job right now, honestly, right? Because I'm looking at up the materials and how best do I deliver this to you guys. There are a lot of things going on, right? There are a lot of organizing going on behind, and I come in sometimes, I see tons of messages. So what I do, sometimes I just come in. If you see me online, you could just send me a message on what do you call it? On Telegram. Most times online, I try to read all the messages. I go to the message, I try to reply. I keep scrolling to some point, I get tired, I let it. So if I come back, I might not go back to the ones I didn't read through. So probably that's what happened. And I'm sorry about that. Maybe what I will do, but not now. In the second phase, when things are more settled, I might have times when I will announce those times. I will always be on my, once it's that time, I'll be on my Telegram. And if you send any message, just be sure that I will answer that. But for now, yeah, you can keep leaving your message on Telegram. I do go through them and I will read them, yeah? So I don't understand the process of Git pull. Git pull, please ask your peers. Ask people in your state Telegram group about Git pull, please. 2 people are talking about Git pull. Let me tell you what Git pull means. Git clone. So when you clone a directory, okay, let me go and clone down my directory. That's this called directory. So I'm here. Let me go to some other place and clone the directory. You'll see. So let me go to my roots, CD, my home directory. So under my home directory, I'll just example. I make a directory. Don't do example. I'm just trying to show you something. As usual, I'll close here and increase this place and zoom in a little bit on it. Okay. Then I'll clear this place. Let me clear the screen. Okay, so I just want to put it somewhere, so I can remove it. I'm making a directory example. I'm using Linux-based machine, so I'm using make there. In Windows, what's the command? It's been ages I used Windows, but I'll give you some similarities so I've made a direct example. So even if you're in Windows, some people, they send me a screenshot, they want to run their Go program, but they are not inside the Go folder. They are giving the Go command. I said, we can't find the file. All right. So I made a folder called example, but I'm not you can be seeing it on your Explorer, but from the command, you are not inside it. Look at PWD in my working directory. I'm just on my home directory, so I'm not anywhere. So you have to first enter into that directory. So, and to do that, you say CD example. One way that can help you, if you put EXA and push the tab, it will complete it for you. Know you're in the right place. Even if you're using Windows machine, it works. It's the same thing. Change directory is the same for Windows, same for Linux, and same for Mac. So CD example, enter. Now I'm inside the example. You can see I'm inside the example directory. If I do my PWD, print working directory, now you see I'm inside example. So that's how, if I want to come out, I'll do CD space ... It will take me out. Go back one level. That's what it means. If I do enter, I'm no more in the example directory. If I print my working directory again, you see I'm just on the home directory. So I want to go inside, I'll say CD example, takes me into there. So I'm here, and I say git clone. That's how you clone the course repo. Git clone, HTTPS. For you, you have the link. You can just paste the link, but I can type it out because I know it. github.com/Callistus-Iguino /NITDA blockchain scholarship.git. Please, you end it with .git. If you copied it from my repo, from the repo, it will be this. So you have to put .git on it, and I'll say hit enter. You see, cloning into, it cloned it, is bringing down all those files into my machine now. So this is git clone. You will see why it's important sometimes you use this git clone to clone it, just so you can do git pull. So let me explain git pull. Git pull now means, you know, every lecture I do, I send new materials to the repo. You don't need to go there, just copy it, but no. So you just come back to that same place you are, and you say git pull. When you say git pull, because you already know where you cloned it from, it will go, if there are new material, it will bring them down. And those materials will just appear on your machine. So if you are using your, like now I'm here, you will now see those files. So git clone is to get the, clone the repo into your machine. Now, whenever you know that new file has been added, and you will know whenever you go to the repo, you see the last time it was updated. If something has been updated from the last time you visited it, you can just say git pull. And git pull means git space pull, not one word, not one word. You say git space and pull. It's taking time. My connection is not so great. So, but what's going, you can see is cloning it. When it's done, I have the latest version of everything on the repo. So whenever I push new content there and you do git pull, you automatically download those content. I hope that answers it. Yes, we end for today. So tomorrow we'll take your questions. Please, I'll end it for today. Please, the time is after 10 already. And yeah, so, tomorrow is my birthday. Forgot. Yeah, but I'll still be here. At least I'll check time. I know we'll make that announcement in the, what do you call it? In the Telegram group, what time for the working session. So I'll be able to take your question at least for 2 hours minimum. I should be on for 2 hours. Other people will take over after that. And maybe when I return again, I'll join again. So we'll have a full, we'll be on for a very long time tomorrow. Come in at your own time, okay? All that detail will come on the, yes, on the Telegram group. I'll stop sharing now. So see you tomorrow again. Please sign up if you haven't signed up. If you know somebody that registered for this course and hasn't signed up, tell the person he has till 12 p.m. tomorrow to do that. Once we open the assignment, you cannot sign up again. That's the end of it. Thank you. And